Well, with the return of the Punisher and Daredevil Born Again, it has a lot of people asking questions about some of these other Netflix shows. And one of those shows that got cut really short was Luke Cage. Now, the showrunner has chimed in and given us a huge peek into what Season 3 could have looked like. And with the Kingpin running for mayor, could we see a return to Luke Cage really soon? Now, before we do that though, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently, so you are really in the know. Well, Luke Cage was among those Marvel TV shows that got canceled way too early when Disney Plus was launched, and they basically brought all their Marvel television back home to Marvel. Now, this sadly meant Luke Cage was wrapped up after only 2 seasons, and it actually left us with a major cliffhanger, seeing Power Man become the new kingpin of crime, well, at least in Harlem. Luke Cage did make one other appearance, but it was really short, and in that final season of Jessica Jones, and outside of being there to offer a little advice for our favorite private investigator, he really gave us nothing as far as closure for his character or that storyline. Now, quite honestly, the decision to take him down what appeared to be a villainous path was not very well received by fans. But the showrunner, Chio Hadori Coker, always seemed to have a plan for the character, and I had a lot of faith in the series. Now, with all the recent talk from Daredevil Born Again and these old shows becoming canon, well, he recently chimed in and gave us a huge peek into what Season 3 could have looked like. Now, this came together over on Twitter, where he was asked by a fan if he had ever mapped out what happened after he became the King of Harlem, and Coker replied with the titles of all 13 episodes for Season 3. Now, you can't tell everything from these titles, but they do match up with the other Luke Cage titles rather nicely, and clearly this was going to be some new and interesting direction for the character, but I'm sure he was going to remain a hero. The titles for Season 3 were in order: Public Enemy Number 1, Don't Believe the Hype, a big clue he wasn't a villain, Louder Than a Bomb, Burn Hollywood Burn, You're Gonna Get Yours, Can't Trust It, Brother's Gonna, Can't Do Nothing For You, Shutting Him Down, Showing Him What You Got, Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos, Welcome to the Terror Dome, and Rebel Without a Pause. Now, I was a huge fan of the show, and these titles sound pretty great, but I'm unclear where the character fits back in, or even if a Season 3 could ever happen. Mike Colter has already made it clear he's done with the role, and although maybe Marvel could entice him back into the MCU, I think that's a huge barrier. If you're keeping so many of these Netflix actors, I think keeping Colter on as Luke Cage becomes very important, and without him willing to do that, I think it really does cut off an avenue of return. Now, this doesn't make me think Luke Cage doesn't have a future in the MCU, and if Colter doesn't want to return or he's not part of this new Daredevil world, I totally suspect Kevin Feige is brewing something up as we speak. We have heard recent rumors that Iron Fist is also set to return, but more than likely the Colleen Wing version, so I know all of these characters are on Kevin Feige's radar, and since fans really want this to happen, and Marvel's sort of listening to fans at the moment, I think the chances of Luke Cage returning are much higher than ever before, but we're gonna have to wait and see.